I think this is probably the toughest series to predict.
I'm going to give the Reds the benefit of the doubt.
I will do no such thing. I'll be in a ball somewhere in a corner anyway crying. It shouldn't even be a series. That being said, Derek, we do have to do our series predictions.
I was about to say that. But I'm glad
Fantastic. You did. We're on the right page. We're simpatico.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
All right, we're going to start it off nice and simple. Give the round winner of the Wildcard series how many games it's in, and we'll move on from there, right? Next week, we'll look into division games.
So you don't want to talk about who you think's going to win the overall consensus of the playoffs. You want to wait.
If you how about this? At the end of our wildcard predictions, we'll give our World Series matchup and we'll give our World Series winner.
That's fair. Okay.
All right, Derek, starting it off, Yankees Sox. What do you got?
I got 2-1 Yankees.
Okay.
I think the Yankees will take game 1 against Garrett Crochet, but I think they will lose game 2 against. It's Bayo. His name. I'm very stupid. Bayo. Okay. And they obviously they don't have decided on who's pitching, who will be pitching game 3. But I do think the Yankees will capture it in game 3. I do. They take game 1, lose game 2, win game 3.
Okay. I'm gonna go Yankees as well, winning 2-0. Hot out of the gate, stay hot. The Yankees have played some really bad teams over the last 2 weeks, not discounting that. However, that could be used as a kickstart. That could be used as a jumpstart. I think their offense is humming a little bit right now. Max Fried has not looked better in a Yankee uniform than he has in the month of September. I think Carlos Rodon is so fucking ready to go out there and fucking win baseball games, win meaningful baseball games, and shut all the critics up. I think the Yankees take the first 2 games, nice and easy, get the fuck out of there, move on.
That's fair. I'll go into the next one for you. Next series is the Padres and the Cubs.
Yep.
Who do you think is going to win that?
Tough one in my opinion, right? I think this is probably the toughest series to predict in my eyes, just because both teams are actually quite similar in stature. I think the Padres have a bit more of an edge, and I think they have a bit more star power when it comes to this. I am going to go Padres 2-1 in this series. I do not want to discount the Cubs because I still think they could win it, especially being at home in Wrigley. But I will maintain my prediction. I'm going to go Padres winning in 3.
That's fair. I'm going to go with the opposite. Not the opposite. I think the Padres will take it 2-0 based off the fact of, in my opinion, they're a different team when they have Kyle Tucker at his capacity. But what I've seen, obviously, what you said the past 7 games, or him getting funneled in and out of the lineup because obviously he hasn't been himself since his injury. I don't see him doing any good if he's not in the lineup at what his best. So obviously, I still have all these good stars, but I see the Padres with the veterans on their team, Tatis, Machado, Luis Arias, veterans. They're going to control this series, and they're going to win this series.
I like it. Derek, we're going to go into the worst series on paper. Going to hand it off to you first. Dodgers, Reds, what are we thinking?
2-0 Reds. I'm kidding. Honestly, I think it's going to be... because I think that the Reds might take 1 game. I want to say they're going to take 1 game. Because obviously, every team, as what you said, it's any given baseball. As you know, people say any given Sunday. It's any given game. You could win any game possible. Just got to have a good pitching game. Hunter Green could pitch a gem game 1 and score 1 run and they win. But I'm going to give it 2-1 to the Dodgers. I'm going to give the Reds the benefit of the doubt.
I respect it. I will do no such thing. Good for the Reds on making the playoffs. Good for Terry Francona on getting the absolute best out of a mediocre roster at best. I do think the Dodgers take this in 2. I think it's going to be relatively easy. I think maybe Cincinnati keeps it close game 1 just because of Green on the mound. At the same time, I don't see any fathomable universe where the Cincinnati Reds even make this a series. And that's me being honest. I mean, like it just shouldn't even be a series, if you want my humble opinion, but it is. And I think the Dodgers are going to take care of business, very handedly.
As they should. But I'm giving the Reds the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give them a 2-1. You got 2-0. Makes sense.
Yep.
But now we're gonna go to a very good series, which it's tough for me to even decide right now. But I want you to go first.
I thought about it. I've been thinking about it all day because it truly is a battle of momentum this series, right? I have been mulling it over back and forth in my mind. I am going to stick with what I wanted to say originally after looking at some stats, after looking at, Skubal, what he does against the Guardians, what the Guardians do against Skubal, that is. I'm going to go 2-0 Guardians. I think Detroit's collapse in September is too much to overcome mentally. I think their offense has just been an absolute shell of themselves over the last 3+ weeks now. And nothing against Skubal. I just don't think whatever he does tomorrow is going to be enough. He would have to go, in my opinion, for them to win game 1 7 or 8 strong with no runs. And I don't think he's going to do that. I think the Guardians are clicking at the right time. They're scrappy offense. They get a lot of base hits. They get a lot of men on bases. They up the count for the pitcher. I think Guardians take this pretty nicely.
That I wanted to side with you on this. I wasn't gonna go 2-0. I was gonna go 2-1. But then I genuinely think that if Skubal pitches a great game in game 1, I don't see the Guardians coming back in the series. So I'm gonna go with what I said before. I'm gonna stick with my gut. And I'm gonna give it 2-1 to the Tigers.
Okay.
It's gonna be a very good series. It's pretty much I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be watching this series and the Yankee series, and that's it. 0-2 series, they can go fuck themselves for all I care. But I hope Skubal he has struggled against the Guardians in the playoffs, especially last year. I believe they versed each other, and Skubal got rocked. But I hope Skubal can bounce back from last year's playoff appearance and play good in this game and win them the series.
Very nice. I think that's a shoot-up. I think that's a shootout series, and not a shootout series. I think that's a toss-up series. So I don't fault you for going with the Tigers at all. I think it could go either way, if I'm being honest. So it should definitely be good baseball that we're about to see over the next 3 days. Looking so forward to it. That being said, you wanted to do it, Derek. Let's hear it. Super Bowl matchup prediction. Super Bowl winner. Not Super Bowl. Jesus Christ. World Series matchup prediction. World Series winner. How many games? World Series MVP. Let's hear it.
Oh, we're going World Series MVP. Okay.
I'm gonna let you go first. This was your idea, so you know what? You gotta do it. You gotta be the guinea pig here.
All right. So in the end, because we obviously did a preseason prediction on who will be in the World Series. I believe I said the Dodgers. I don't exactly remember. I will go back and look. But I'm gonna say World Series on the NL side. I think the Phillies are going to be taking it out of the NL. And in the AL, unfortunately, I'm not going to say the Yankees. I'm going to say a team that the Yankees were fighting with in the AL East. I'm going to say the Blue Jays.
Okay.
Honestly,
how many games?
I think that the Phillies will win four games out of 10. So I think they take it in game 6. I think it's going to go to game 6 to where Bryce Harper captures NL World Series MVP.
Bryce Harper, the man. I like it. I think it has a lot of value to it. I think it has a lot of... I think it definitely has legs to it. I think that's a very good prediction just because the Phillies are one of the best teams, and I think the Blue Jays have really overcome themselves to being that one seed in the AL. And given that the AL was a bit weaker, however, the Blue Jays have played really good baseball. So I do like it. I'm going to give my prediction. I do have the Phillies coming out of the NL. I think they are a tremendous baseball team. Unbelievable relief pitching. Their lineup speaks for itself, right? Harper, Schwarber, Trey Turner, the list goes on. It's Real Muto at veteran leadership. It really is a tremendous lineup. Their starting pitching has taken some hits, right? Losing Wheeler for the year was not easy to overcome. But at that same time, they still have very dynamic pitching. Whether you look at Luzardo, whether you look at Sanchez, whether you look at Nola, right? They still have that starting pitching to go and back off of their offense with. I love the Phillies coming out of the NL. I really do. And that's tough because the Phillies and the Dodgers are probably on a collision course for round 2. So, looking forward to that tremendously. That being said, fan or no fan, I could give a shit. I'm going the Yankees out of the AL. I think they take care of business against the Red Sox. In my humble opinion, I think the Red Sox are their toughest opponent in the playoffs on the AL side of things. The Red Sox have owned them this year. The Red Sox have unbelievable pitching on their top 2 that have owned the Yankees this year. I think if they can get past the Red Sox, I'm not going to say it's easy, but I think their path is much easier just because of who they have to go against, right? I'm personally not afraid of the Blue Jays. And that's going to bite me in the ass because you can play back that video if we lose to the Blue Jays, right? You can play it back. I don't care. I'll be in a ball somewhere in a corner anyway, crying. So
Or drinking.
that's not going to affect me. Yankees, Phillies, repeat of the 2009 World Series. I have Yankees in 6, and as my World Series MVP,
I guess.
I have sure
Giancarlo Stanton.
it would be Giancarlo Stanton. However, I will say this. Aaron Judge is going to have an Aaron Judge moment. I think he is going to finally show up this playoffs. I think he is going to be a huge reason that the Yankees finally make it over the hump. It could be just me hoping for it, right? It could just be me being a fool and praying, but I do think he had that quote unquote rest, right, where he missed 10 to 15 games with an elbow injury. I think it did wonders for him. He's on a tear over the last 2 weeks, batting .400. I think he's going to carry that momentum in the playoffs. I think he is going to win ALCS MVP. And I think him and Stan are going to 1-2 punch us to a World Series.
I hope you're right, man. I really fucking do. I will pray that you're right. But oh God. The Blue Jays I don't know what, the Blue Jays just scare me, but that's your opinion.
The Blue Jays have something that a lot of other teams don't when it comes to, they don't rely on the long ball, right? They don't rely on power. They don't have great pitching. They have good pitching that gets them through where they need to go. They just hit the fuck out of the ball. They do not strike out, which is something the Yankees do on the flip side a tremendous amount. And they have great coaching because of their fundamentals. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. They do not make errors. They're one of the best base running teams in the league. They do not get outs on the base paths. And they do not strike out, as I mentioned. Right? That's success. That's a recipe for success. However, Aaron fucking Judge.
I hope you're right. I'm going to pray you're right. But I'm very glad I got your opinion. I feel like, honestly, I think if we rewind time to last year, that was your exact prediction.
I don't doubt it.
I think I believe you said Yankees in the World Series against the Phillies. But you said Yankees against Phillies or Yankees against Dodgers. I don't remember.
It was one of them. Maybe I didn't even have the Yankees back in it. Maybe I had the Red Sox. That's interesting. No, I was definitely off, Derek. I had the Texas Rangers winning it all. I definitely 100% did. And the Texas Rangers did not even make the playoffs.
And might I add, next week I'm gonna get the stats. I'm gonna have them all down, and we'll go over what the prediction, how close.
Great, can't wait.
One thing,
I definitely had the Yankees going to the ALCS, but I had them losing to the Rangers.
yeah, I don't fully remember it, so I'm not gonna say it. One thing I will say when it comes down to the standings, I'm pretty sure I went perfect on one of them.
Great, I'm happy for you.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not at all.